So, if you feel like testing your PC setup in 2025, really pushing things to the limit, these are the games that are going to probably put your PC through the ringer. Starting off with number 10, Kingdom Come. Deliverance 2 is a humble game really that over-delivers where it counts. It's built on the aging CryEngine technically. Oh, but this open-world sequel doesn't have ray tracing. Instead, it uses a different technique for global illumination called voxel cone tracing. And while the early game looks pretty simple, with fights against small gangs of thugs in the woods, your system is going to struggle during later battles packed with enemies, swords, shiny suits of armor, castle sieges, and stuff like that. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 really is a stunning game. So sit back, enjoy the beautiful countryside, and try not to get murdered by some random guy. Next over at number 9, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It might possibly have some of the most graphic stuff going on in 2025 so far. Stepping out into the Japanese countryside, you're just assaulted with falling leaves, wind blowing through the trees, babbling brooks, and atmospheric rain and weather on the dirt roads. The natural beauty, though, is really the standout here. The world transforms with the seasons, becoming sunny or rainy or covered in snow, and it looks absolutely awesome. I've had my complaints with Assassin's Creed Shadows, but there is no denying it is the best-looking Assassin's Creed game by far. Now, over at number 8, Cyberpunk 2077 isn't brand new like the other games on our list, but that's where mods come into play. Mods for fixing shadows, shaders, ray tracing, and more will push this awesome-looking game to new limits. Night City is already just like an incredibly immersive location with a totally unique look. You just don't find in other open-world games. It feels like a lived-in sci-fi place. And Cyberpunk 2077 has really only improved with age. The developers keep updating the game with new graphical options and new ways to play, new immersive roleplay features like using the trains to fast travel, and a bunch of other stuff. Just taking a spin around the city, listening to some cool futuristic music is just enough to really get us in the right cyberpunk mood. The vibes are just impeccable here, and mods or not, it's still worth experiencing. But seriously, try it with some mods. Next over at number 7, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It has this extreme historical detail that we'd expect from a game about an archaeologist. And the developers at Machine Games built a museum based on the enduring legacy of the Indiana Jones character. And it's easily the best piece of indie media since those original 3 movies. The animation and detail work on their Harrison Ford is obviously incredible, but the real details are what we didn't expect. The insane attention to it everywhere you look. Whether you're exploring the Great Pyramids at Giza, having a shootout with Nazis in the desert, or taking a calm boat ride through the flooded canals out in the jungle. The way the light filters through the windows and the trees outside, or just how the smoke from a moving train cascades out of its engine from afar. This is a game that just makes you feel truly immersed in a more adventurous world. Next at number 6, we have no idea why there's a Delta Force Black Hawk Down video game that's a remake of a tie-in to a movie that plays absolutely nothing like the original source material. The Black Hawk Down expansion for Delta Force throws out the arcade action of the original series and aims for something more realistic. You'll have to survive combat from all sides in an incredibly detailed and brutally difficult co-op mission that's more survival than tactical operation. Once you hop off your chopper, you're going to be navigating narrow hallways packed with enemies and snipers on the outside windows. The gritty realism here is just on full display, and the better your machine, the more immersive this insane mission becomes. Next, at number 5, if you really want to put your computer to the test, you might want to try out Star Citizen. Why? Well, because this early access game can melt your graphics card. Think of it like the ultimate stress test. The massive cities you'll have to explore before hopping into space definitely look real good from a design perspective, even if they don't make much sense from a gameplay perspective. The graphics definitely look pretty crazy when you're zipping around space. The sunsets are stunning. The planets are great for the vast barren landscapes, even if getting down these are a whole lot more difficult than No Man's Sky. This is a space game for the hardest of the hardcore. So, it's only fitting we had to test our specs with this game. Next at number 4, Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2 slams us with acting with a capital A. This is a game designed all around the central performance, and it's a really damn good performance. The motion capture technology here is next level. This is a little game made with big Microsoft money, and the cinematic presentation overwhelms everything else. It's about the atmospheric experience. Every grimy, gritty, dirty, bloody bit of detail appears on Senua's face as she struggles to survive another harrowing journey through dark fantasy mythology. There's not a lot of HUD, and all the visual indicators are built into the visual design of the game. There's no health bars floating over enemies' heads, and a brief twinkle of light on enemy Swords lets you know when to parry. That's really it. From the first fight, you'll see how photorealistic this game strives to be through mixed media style, atmosphere, and just incredible camera animation. Next at number 3, one of the most straightforward games to impress your friends, believe it or not, is Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. It easily takes the crown for one of the better Call of Duties in years after a series of fumbles by Activision. And if we're talking purely the campaign here, the developers at Raven have stepped up as the real MVPs here, putting in workmanlike extra effort on these games with the backing of hundreds of millions of dollars. Black Ops 6 edges the series into the nostalgic nines as you battle this faceless, evil organization that's infiltrated Washington, D.C. and the CIA. We all expect flashy missions and chaotic stuff from these games, but this one in particular, this Black Ops 6 campaign, offers a lot more actual gameplay to go along with the linear running and gunning. The larger levels give your rig a real chance to impress your friends. Now down at number 2, Capcom is really on a hot streak. Monster Hunter Wilds is another beautiful game about epic combat with these giant creatures, all running on the surprisingly versatile RE engine. No longer creating hyper-realistic spooky interiors. Now it's making these expansive, enormous environments with entire hordes of rampaging monsters. The environments are some of the most photorealistic we've seen yet from this franchise. And naturally, this game is an absolute beast to run. Most RE Engine games actually run incredibly smoothly. So, the bigger environments and bigger monsters must be catching up with the older engine. The graphics are such a big point of contention. Early updates were made before launch specifically intended to get the game running on lower-spec machines. Capcom pushed the limits with this game and forced us to upgrade. If you've got a good enough machine to run this thing high-end with all the settings, you're pushing your PC to the absolute limit with the 4K graphics. And now down at number 1, Doom, The Dark Ages. A Doom has really always been a showcase for graphics. I mean, in Doom 93, those graphics were crazy. Doom 3 really pushed things forward, and now the modern Doom games always manage to turn it up to 11. With Doom The Dark Ages on PC, this game is a hell of a looker. The particle effects, of the detailed visuals, the textures, of the lighting, if you got ray tracing going on, all that stuff looks incredible. But also the fact that, if your hardware can do it, this is all at blazingly fast speeds, just makes it all the more wild and impressive and just insane. There's just so much going on here. So much fire and brimstone and lasers and skulls and gore. All of it really is just a feast for the eyes. Sometimes it's almost a little too much. It's like visual overload. Like if you got a good PC and you crank things up, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. So, these are some recent picks for games that are really going to cook your PC. Also, there are plenty of games that fall into this category. So, let us know what games you like using most recently to push your PC to benchmark things. We're long past the days when old games like Crysis were the real test of your computer. Now, so many games absolutely require some killer specs and the latest graphics cards to really play things smooth on max settings. If you like this video and you like talking games with us every single day, clicking the like button is all you gotta do to help us out. We really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next.